Hello and a very warm welcome to you to the first and opening weekend of the 2020 Singapore Premier League season. Today, our match takes us to Jurong West Stadium. This is the new venue, of course, the home stadium for Young Lions. They have moved out of Jalan Besar because of the works that are happening there this year that will see the stadium unavailable for the rest of 2020. And tonight, they take on Hougang United, who have also been displaced from Jalan Besar Stadium. Remember, these two sides did share that venue last year, and they moved back to Hougang Stadium, much to the delight of their home fans. But our attentions are here in the West this evening, as Young Lions, of course, the side now managed by Nazri Nasir, who has taken over from Fandi Ahmad, and he has lost some of his stalwarts. Like Josh Pereira, of course, the skipper last year, he is no longer with the side, and they are now led by Jacob Mahler. They've got a tough season ahead of them, of course, as they normally lose a number of players. They've got some fresh ones in. There'll be some youngsters to keep an eye out for. They take on Hougang United, who have freshly been involved in the AFC Cup. More on that in a short while. First of all, let's hear from both sides.
Again, for me, what I expect, what I hope to see them basically as a player, my whole idea is to develop them to be a better player. That's not only as an individual player, as a team. In development, in terms of technical aspect, they already have. It's just the tactical aspect they need to know, and how can they work as a team. Okay, they have to be, and on top of that, so I want them to learn as fast as you can, because especially mental, where they need to know that where they be playing in football, youth football is different. It's more a man game. It's more very physical. So they need to learn, and they need to adapt it quickly. You need to know that the speed of the football is different, the intensity will be different. So that is what I look at it, and I want to see them development as individual players, where they have improved to the next level. Where also when we can see that in future they be for our Singapore football. That's the most important thing.
In all honesty, I mean, after one season, I think every year we need to achieve something better, and this is what we are looking for. And no denying that, yes, we would want to challenge for the title, which is quite challenging. With a lot of teams have recruited very well, and of course we have a club that privatized, and Sailor has done very well. They have captured a lot of good individual players. Yeah.
Good to hear there the thoughts of both Nazri Nasir and Clementino, the respective managers, coaches of Young Lions and Hougang United. Jurong West Stadium, of course, formerly the home in the past. Gombak has played here. Tampines Rovers, remember, temporarily played here when their stadium, Tampines Stadium, the old Tampines Stadium, was being revamped. And then, of course, it has now become our Tampines hub. So this will be the Young Lions home for the moment. How will they take this on? A very different type of surface, of course, from what they were playing with last season. Fandi Ahmad in the house. Great to see him here. This was his former team, of course, when he was in charge. And now it is Nazri Nasir, who's been involved with the Young Lions in youth football for quite some time now. And I'm sure Fandi will be wishing him all the very best in his endeavours. I just mentioned earlier that Hougang United were involved in the AFC Cup. Remember that this is their inaugural, or their debut in the competition, and they have certainly caught the eye in a number of ways. I think their first match, they won in a pretty emphatic fashion after a little bit of a shaky start. That was an away trip as well, don't forget. As Hougang went to Laos, and Vientiane played Lao Toyota and won 3-1 after going a goal down fairly early in very controversial circumstances, I must say, but then bounced back with some very special goals indeed. Stipe Plazibat in particular, and he was the scorer of 2 goals for Hougang at home against Ho Chi Minh City. But I have to say, They were poor in that game for about 70 minutes against the Vietnamese side, and only came alive after the introduction of Anumanthan, who really invigorated the midfield, made a really big difference in the middle of the park. Just a bit more steel and some great passes as well. And we'll see that he has been rewarded for that display with a start today, as you can just see. We'll go through the team lists in just a short while. Always a little bit of pomp and ceremony on the opening weekend of any season. And they'll want to give the fans something to cheer about on this opening weekend. We've already had a result earlier with Albrechts Niigata thrashing Geylang International 4-0 last night with 2 red cards, Sharon Sabarin and Faris Fahan. I wonder if this one will be remotely eventful. There are your match officials: G. Lechman in charge, assisted by Liao Hongwei, and Abdul Hanan, the 4th official, Shadiq Al Hussein. And they'll be hoping this is nowhere near as eventful as what we saw yesterday. Nazri Nasser, of course, part of that Singapore team in the early 90s, mid-90s and late 90s that really did capture the imagination at times. The 2 skippers then. Jacob Mahler now leading the team. And Khairulin Khalid, the skipper of Hougang United. So let's go through the lineups then. Young Lions have got 3 players in their starting lineup today. As we know, they do change quite frequently. A lot of their players have left. The skipper, Jacob Mahler, he's now in charge after Josh Pereira has departed to Geylang International. Ridwan Fikri came in on a free and he starts, so that'll be exciting for him. And Safri Jupre and Harris Stewart both came from Hougang under-19, so this will be interesting up against their old club. And talking of their old club, Hougang United, well, they just had a game a few days ago against Ho Chi Minh City, as I mentioned, in the AFC Cup. And there are 4 changes from that side, and that's partially enforced because of the under-23 rule. Remember, 3 of them have to start a game, so the 3 youngsters in, Jordan Vestering, Farhan Zulkifli, and Daniel Martins, who was plying his trade last season with Albrechts Niigata, he comes in. And as we mentioned earlier, Anumanthan is rewarded for that very industrious performance in the AFC Cup, and he starts in midfield. The players to make way: Hafiz Sujad, Shawal Anwar, Sahil Suhaimi, and Fabian Kwok will be the he's the one who's been replaced by Anumanthan in the middle of the park. Well, Young Lions tend to have that reputation of a team that struggle. Clement Teo knows if he has any chance of going a little further in the league. They faltered towards the end of the season. They need to pick up games like this. These are games that they really want to mark down as must-win. With all due respect, of course, to Young Lions, but this is a new look Young Lions as well, and they may take a bit of time to build up some rhythm. We'll see. Ilham Fandi had a bit of a cameo towards the end of the season, and he did impress at times. Scored a great goal at Albrechts Niigata, I recall, not too long ago. So I'm sure plenty of eyes on him, especially wearing that famous number 17 jersey of his father, Fandi Ahmad. So here we go, the opening game of the season here at the Jurong West Stadium, as Young Lions take on Hougang United. Young Lions in red, Hougang going from right to left. There's Zach Anderson. Anumanthan back to his keeper, Khairulhin. Anderson, one of the new signings, an Australian. Matchell is the other foreign signing that they've brought in. You are allowed another foreigner this season in one of the rule changes. There was Matchell out wide to Jordan Vestering, who's pushed right up on that left-hand side. Nazrul Nazari, first time. Anumanthan tries to make that challenge. Combative player, isn't he? That goes against him. So a little push on the back of Farhan Zulkifli. Now Anderson. Anumanthan, happy with his short passes for now. Got to be a little careful, getting pushed a little bit there, Abdul Rasak. He's got plenty of pace on him. And one thing we did see from Young Lions in the last couple of seasons, and by the way, when they finished 7th last year, that was their best finish in over a decade, is that what they perhaps lacked in experience and even skill set, they try to make up for in fitness levels or in at least trying to pressure the opponents. They were full of energy, as you'd expect from the youngest team in the league. As I mentioned, a few of the new signings in. There's Jordan Vestering, who was with them last year, but players today on the pitch that were there before, that have come in, sorry, Zach Anderson on a free. And we'll come back to that in a minute. Here's just a replay of the foul on Jacob Mahler. Anders Appelin came from Geylang International. Charles Matchell came from Sveriang, Cambodia. Daniel Martins, I mentioned already, from Albrechts Negata. Saul Sahaimi on the bench for Warriors. Shawal Anwar from Geylang International. Carroll in there, having to rush that kick a little bit. They've been pressing well. The sun is still out brightly on one half of the pitch. Matchell, oh, he's been dispossessed here, Matchell. They have to pull it back, and it needed a better pullback there. Nur Adam Abdullah did really well to steal the ball off Matchell, who's got to do better than that. You're inside the penalty area or just around there. You've got to get rid of the ball rather than being too cute with it. And that was a great opportunity. Just needed a better ball from Nur Adam Abdullah. Well, they've shown, as I said, they've got the energy in these early stages. And this was it. This was trying to be clever. Lost his footing a little bit. And it needed just that little cutback, didn't it? Because look who was in a good position. Ilhan Fandi. Well, they've looked up for it, haven't they, Young Lions? Bright from them. Got an important touch on Harris Stewart. Here's Ilhan. Well, that just races past him. Zach Anderson. Here is Anders Applin. Interesting to see that Hanumanthan will just drop back a little bit. Here he is on the ball. And he will just help out the centre backs in Zach Anderson and Anders Applin, and that just gives a little bit more freedom to the two fullbacks in Jordan Vestering and Nazrul Nazari. Hanumanthan. Oh, good ball over the top here. Stipe Plazibat needs it to come down. He's in a good position here, but excellent defending. Could he have squared the ball? He's a striker. He's not going to do that, is he? Farhan. And again, very good defending from Danish Irfan on 2 occasions there. He got that absolutely right. He's in a good position there, Stipe Plazibat. I think he'll be disappointed not to have done a little bit better. But that has been their best opportunity so far. And it was that ball over the top from Hanumanthan. Really nicely done by him. Nicely done as well by Afik Noor. And he's got to surely score here. Way too easy for Stipe Plazibat. Fantastic cross in from Afik Noor. And that is goal number 50 in the Singapore Premier League for Stipe Plazibat. Hence his little celebration there. 50 goals. How impressive is that for Stipe Plazibat? Well, you've got to look at this. A little bit too easy for Afik Noor. And he's right in between all those defenders, isn't he? Safri Jupre was the defender who was just bamboozled, really, by Afik Noor. He's got to do better than that, Safi. And it's a good finish. It's a finish you'd expect someone like Stipe Plazibat, the Croat, to make. But what a time he's had. There you go, confirmation of that statistic. 15 league goals in 2016, 25 in 2017, just 9 last year, as his team was going great guns, which is interesting, of course. And now his 50th goal. He has been a goal machine. And part of the reason why he only scored 9 was because he was in a withdrawn role, wasn't he, last year for much of the season. And I think he has probably put that debate to bed, we think. Though in the AFC Cup, he did play out wide a number of times. But far too easy for him, really. In amongst 3 defenders. And questions really to be asked there about how it would be so easy for him just to trap the ball. Not even a fantastic first touch. It was a bit of a heavy first touch, but still have the time and space to put that in. It's point blank range in effect, wasn't it? Signs were there a little earlier for Hougang and Stipe Plazibat. Now, how do young Lions respond? Because it can, of course, be rather demoralizing. That's the problem. Hanumanthan loses the ball. Now, Ilhan Fandi. Oh, nice bit of skill from him. Was there a foul? He'll get a free kick. Just drag the ball back a little bit. Have another look at that foul. Opportunity here for Young Lions to just create that bit of pressure. Looks like it's going to be an effort on goal, and that was just no real conviction in that one, I'm afraid. Always rising. Needed a better effort, Reza Reski. Zach Anderson to Anders Applin. Lovely first touch on by Daniel Martins, who had some really good moments with Albrecht Nagato. He trusted him a fair bit, gave him a lot of time. Generally, they would take a player off at half-time, under 23 player. It was generally not him, because they would always start with 2 as per the rules. Now they've signed 7 players this season. Albrecht Nagata. One back here by Reza. Daniel doing well, no foul. Here's Jacob Mahler fighting for the ball. No foul by Matchell. Now Safi. Out to Abdul Rasak. Gets a cross in. Out for a corner. Did well on the byline there. And Zach Anderson got a little bit on that. Did have Vestering there as well, just to cover. To be swung in by Noor Adam. Just trying to get that ball down, Said Akmal. Good pressure here from Young Lions. Put out a play by Daniel Martins. Well, it's a bit messy. Was there a handball? A few arms went up asking the referee for that. Afik Noor clears. Here's Martins. Now Stipe Plazibat. That's a fantastic run on. The keeper's got to get it right. He's completely missed the ball. And Farhan Zulkifli would have been through. Well, I wonder if it took a little bobble. But Ridwan Fikri, the Young Lions goalkeeper, completely missed it. Here's Farhan. On the counter, that was excellent play from Hougang. Martins. Well, you saw the goalkeeper totally miss it. Some dangerous moments at times for a shot each so far. Marla can't quite keep that in. Out wide there. Martins has been doing a lot of the running. Employing something like a 4-1-4-1 at the moment, this young Lions side. With Ilhan leading the line. This is Said Akmal. Well, one back there by Anumantan. Jacob Marler, safety first from him. Little bit of movement from Stipe Plazibat. Vestering trying to surge forward. Haven't seen too many storming runs yet from either fullback in Jordan Vestering and Nazrul Nazari. Up to Plazibat. Chest set down for Farhan Zulkifli. Tries to return the favour. Ball stuck in under the feet there. Abdul Rasak. Nice touch on from Ilhan. Under Zaplin under a little bit of pressure, he sends it back to Khairul Hind. A lot of these players are going to get, particularly in the Hougang ranks, are going to get a lot of game time this season. The squad will be tested. So a little foul there. It is going to be a Young Lions free kick with playing on 4 fronts: the AFC Cup, the SPL, the Singapore Premier League, Singapore Cup, and of course the newly minted ASEAN Football Championship. Oh, that's a header on! Khairul Hind got enough on it. Ilhan. It would have been offside anyway. The flag had gone up. It was a lovely ball floated in. Now, I don't know what Khairul Hind's done here, but he seems to have hurt himself. This was the ball in. Adjudged to be offside. You got no other angle? No other angle? Well, Khairul Hind, there'll be a bit of a concern if he's not in top shape there. But Ilhan there with a chance. Now, let's see. There's the coaches. Again, hard to judge from there whether Ilhan was offside. Seemed to be in a pretty decent position. Well, Nasri will be fairly happy with the response since that goal went in. A little bit more promising from his side. Here's Matchell. Closed down again, this time by Marla. They've done very well on that front, Young Lions. Abdul Razak. Back to Shafi. Good ball over the top. Here's Daniel Martins. Opts to go back to Afik Noor. Done well here, Afik. Over the top, but this time easy for Ridwan. Reza Reski, who was waiting for the run of Akram on that left-hand side. Here's Noor Adam. Needed a better ball. There the Hougang Hools, making some pretty good noise so far. Their team a goal up as well. Matchell to Anumanthan. Here's Nazrul Nazari. He's got terrific pace, hasn't he, Nazrul? Haven't seen too much of that in evidence just yet. Bit of a luck here, Nazrul. That's away by Harris. Ilhan on his own, does well. Now Marla. You could see, I think he was actually not meaning to put it up to Abdul Razak. He was looking across, but it almost had the same kind of desired effect to just cause problems with that back line. Lots of bodies on this left-hand side. Daniel Martins has just popped over to the left-hand side for Hougang. And what they do, they're a bit fluid. So now you're going to see Stipe Plaziba move up to that right-hand side, and then it'll be Daniel Martins as effectively the number 9, the striker. Testing ball across, and they couldn't take any chances. Jordan Vestering puts that out of play. He seems to have hurt himself in the process. Searching ball by Noor Adam. Can they make something out of this corner here, Young Lions? Farhan. Quite impressed with Farhan. Last season really was his opportunity to shine, given his chance, and he's taken it well. Afiq Noor, another one who really worked ever so hard. The youngsters have really done their bit, haven't they? I think this is one of the benefits of the FAS rules regarding under 23 players. Just gives them the chance to have that exposure. Forward by Anderson. Flag will certainly go up. He was offside. Didn't really see that, did he, Farhan? So we can give you some other scores. Tampines Rovers are up against Balestier Khalsa at the moment. Boris Kapitovic continuing his good early season form. I believe that's 7 goals in as many games in all competitions since he's joined, and I think in some pre-season friendlies. Here's Harris. Ambitious ball up towards Nur Adam. Back to Akram. In truth, they've seen a fair bit of the ball, Hougang, but they haven't really troubled Ridwan too much. Not that many chances for either side. Vestering under a little bit of pressure from Abdul Razak. He's done well. Done really well. Unnecessary touch by Matchell on Abdul Razak. He doesn't agree with the referee's decision. Jacob Mahler. Out wide to Nur Adam. Nowhere near as good as the ball he played a couple minutes ago. Last time both these sides met on the opening weekend was in 2018. Young Lions running out 2-0 winners at Jalan Besar Stadium. And they're a bit of a bogey team, Young Lions, for Hougang. When I was saying when they mark this fixture down as one that has to be a must-win with the strength that they've got, Hougang these days. And they really have recruited very strongly, haven't they, since last season. But they have lost some really big names, of course, like Faris Ramli. Zulfami Arifin as well. Afiq Yunus. We're having a little bit of a drinks break. Ironically, when the sun has gone in, it's not particularly hot. Now, it was much earlier, but they will have a quick drinks break. Easy for us, of course, to comment on this in the shade. The only goal of the game so far, care of Stipe Plazibat, his 50th of his SPL career. That's across 2 clubs, Hougang and Home United. They've worked hard here, this Young Lions side. Not too much to show for it, but as you can always expect from Young Lions, never short on endeavour. Let's have a reminder of the goal. Jordan Vestering played that out beautifully to Afignor did well. Nice little turn from him. And there, just look at the number of defenders sucked in, but not able to stop Stipe Plazibat. Said Akmal, Danish Irfan, and Akram Azman. Far too easy for the big man, Stipe Plazibat. Just about 15 minutes, including some added time here for Clement Teo to get to half-time with that precious 1-0 lead. Touch on from Matchell finds Plazibat. Nasser Nazari just runs into Akram. Here's Anumantan. Nice work indeed from Reza. Comes bearing down a goal. Reza is up against Zach Anderson. Anumantan does well. Reza Reski in pretty good form at the moment. Scored 4 goals in 6 pre-season games. Just ran out of steam, didn't he? Wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do. Players around him. Zach Anderson sends that over towards Jordan Vestering, but far too much on it. Zach Anderson, back to Karul Hin Khalid, who's had a little bit less to do than his opposite number. Sends it up to Nazrul, great touch from him, Nazrul. Ball over the top for Plazibat to try and run onto. And I've got to say, Danish Irfan has probably been the best defender for Young Lions. And as soon as I say that, he gets nutmegged. The ball in is cleared. Now, Jacob Mahler. Really not too many options at the moment, so they've just got to wait for some reinforcements. May have just hurt himself here, Anu. Very good at closing down. Said Akmal. Back from Zach Anderson. Defending fairly high, Young Lions, and that has caused them a couple of problems in this game. Nicely done between Matchell and Anumantan. Good ball through, and they got problems here. Very nice save. He decided to go for a goal himself, and on the rebound, that's a wonderful finish from Jordan Vestering. Farhan Zulkifli went for goal first on the follow-up after actually very good work from Ridwan. Jordan Vestering, brilliant. And that is 2. I was just talking about that high line, and once again it caused them problems. Young Lions got to look at that. Anumantan combined well, Matchell. This was the ball in from Anu. Right behind that defence. They've got to clear the ball better. And I was just picking up Danish Irfan. It's a poor clearance from him. In control now, Hougang, with their second goal. Fine finish from the youngster. Problems here. For Young Lions, how are they going to respond? Nazrul Nazari. Really nicely done by the fullback. Anu. Now Afik. Matchel. Well, you feel for him, Ridwan, because pulled off a pretty good save, and the defenders let him down here. Incredibly, it's been 3 years since they won their opening encounter on the Hougang. They defeated Geelong 2-0 in 2017, but problem here for Ilhan. And it's a yellow card for Farhan Zulkifli. Hefty challenge on Ilhan. Wasn't a great challenge earlier on. Actually, it was Charles Matchell, excuse me. Well, I think that could have been a yellow, but it hasn't been given. Not for Farhan, but Matchell. Anu's done well again. Stipe Plazibat. Bearing down a goal. Rolled it across Matchell, who just couldn't get to it. Looked a bit frustrated there, Plazibat. Here's Ilhan. Kind of let down by Safi, who just wanted Abdul Razak to come closer. They're getting stretched, aren't they? They're getting pulled apart at the back at times, this defence of Young Lions. That high line is part of the problem, perhaps. They're dropping back just a little now. Anticipating that a little better. Well, they're squeezing up the pitch at the moment, Young Lions. They were trying the high press earlier. It hasn't really paid off in the last 10-15 minutes. Haven't seen too much of that in evidence. We're approaching the 40th, last 5 minutes, 40th minute now. Frustration from Nazrul Nazari. Was there a foul in the box? And the Zeppelin clears. It was Reza, I think, who went down in the box. No real appeal to the referee for that. Haven't really created that many opportunities, have they, Young Lions? Have they been threatening going forward? One back here by Jacob Mahler. I think no, though. He's a dogged customer. Very nicely done at the back from Hougang. Nice little triangles. And perhaps a bit of frustration there from Mahler. Zach Anderson, forward by him. Oh, and that's risky, isn't it? Very risky from Safi. Could have gone first time with the ball, it didn't. Was there a little? That's a foul, surely. That's a foul. Jacob Mahler. Well, earlier on, they're pointing to the fact that there was a foul on Safi. There might have been something in his face before, in the lead up to that foul. Well, there was definitely an arm in the face. And that possibly could have been a foul. That is a foul by Jacob Mahler. He was pleading his innocence, but I think we have to look back at the earlier incident where there might have been an arm in the face of Safi from Stipe Plazibat, which wasn't spotted, but it is now a penalty opportunity here for Plazibat. This to make it 3-0. Easy does it for Stipe Plazibat. And goal number 51 in the SPL. And that's come at a great time here for Young Lions. 3-0 it is. Well, Young Lions really got to look at all three goals and how they've conceded them. Jacob Mahler, careless challenge from him. A nicely taken penalty from Stipe Plazibat. Real problems here now for Young Lions. They're looking at a massive scoreline. They've got to arrest this now. Close down Akram. How are they going to approach that second half? Ball up for Abdul Razak, easy for Carolina, it should be. Oh, did he just a little lash out there? Did he just raise his leg on Abdul Razak? I thought he did. Unnecessary. Oh, was that a little push there? Abdul Razak on Zach Anderson. Yeah, he's not contesting that at all. Three minutes of added time. I think no. It's 2-0, by the way, to Tampines Rovers up against Balestier Khalsa. in that game. So all the favourite teams at the moment going great guns. They've only had 2 shots so far, the Young Lions. Just 1 on target. 4 shots for Hougang, 3 on target. Double the number of efforts so far. Well, they've really got to pick things up in this second half. We've got a minute left. In that Tampines Balestier game, the first goal was scored by Kapitovic, as I mentioned. Get you more details of the second, but this will be the last passage of play now in this first half. Side Akmal. Akram, one final push perhaps. Oh, did he leave his leg in there? Akram, right to the very end of this first half on Anders Applin. There have been some pretty poor challenges in this game. The referee's blown his whistle. There have been goals aplenty from Hougang United. Stipe Plazibat knocking in from virtually point-blank range right in front of the goal for his 50th ever effort. 50th strike in the Singapore Premier League. Jordan Vestering with a grass cutter in the 38th minute after a fine save from Ridwan Fikri, and then just a couple minutes later Plazibat added his second and Hougang third with a penalty after a challenge on him by Jacob Mahler. They've looked very comfortable so far, Hougang United, up against Young Lions, who have struggled for some fluency. They have it all to do in the second half, but for now, at the Jurong West Stadium, it's Young Lions 0, Hougang United 3. Let's have a look at the goals then. And it was a good ball in from Afik Noor to Stipe Plazibat, who knocked it in from very close range. Anumantan played a delightful ball out to Farhan Zulkifli. Toe poked it. Good save from Ridwan, but it was a very poor clearance from Danish Irfan. And look at that. Wonderful effort from Jordan Vestering. So those are your goals so far here at the Jurong West Stadium. We'll be back with more action in just a short while. Do stay with us. We're back here at Jurong West Stadium in the SPL opening weekend as Young Lions take on Hougang United. 3-0 it is to Hougang. And they are struggling, Young Lions, there's no doubt about it. They have made a change. Akmal Azman has come on. And he's replaced Danish Irfan. So that nominally looks like a little bit more of an attacking change. I wonder whether Danish took a little bit of a knock. Going to see how they are shaping up for the second half. Certainly Ilhan there needs a little bit of support up top. Oh, very nicely done. Noor Adam Abdullah needed a better ball in. Ilhan was lurking. Zach Anderson gets it away. And it does appear that it is a straight swap, in fact. And Akmal Azman has replaced Danish Irfan in the centre of defence. So a like-for-like change. I think one can only assume that would be tactical. Sorry, excuse me, injury-related, because I thought he played fairly well. Danish Irfan. One poor clearance, though, I must admit, did lead to a goal. But he had a couple of very good challenges earlier on to prevent a couple of other good chances. Taking quickly, they're up for this. They've shown a little bit of intent in the first minute and a half. Young Lions, they've got to do more than that, though. Need to get some goals. Good ball in from Stipe Plazibat up to Daniel Martins. Foul by Martins. Certainly a tackle from behind by Martins. Looks a bit frustrated with that. Breaking down in the final third for them, isn't it? Young Lions. Ilhan trying to close down. His father Fandi Ahmad in the stands, watching. Khairul Hind. Well, given away poorly. Noor Adam Abdullah. Ball in, Abdul Razak. Has to be a better cross than that. Jacob Mahler. Nur Adam. It's done well here, but just showed a little bit too much of the ball. Anumantan. Certainly very good intent from this young Lions side in the second half. Harris gets fouled by Anumantan. Oh dear. Breaks down very quickly. Nur Adam's got to do better than that. Well, for all their endeavour, haven't created anything yet in the second half. Early stages, of course, young Lions. But they've largely kept the ball inside the Hougang half, which will give them a little bit of encouragement. There's the new man in, Akmal Azman. Now ball over the top. Here's Nur Adam. Have to get the early ball in, and that's very nicely done by Jordan Vestering. He's had a good game so far, Vestering, and got a goal as well for his efforts. Anumantan trying to surge forward. It's an important challenge on him by Syed Akmal. Into the side netting. And Farhan could have got goal number 4 there, perhaps. Did well, the shot was on. Low backlift as well. Jacob Mahler. Nur Adam. He's had plenty of the ball, isn't he, in the second half? Just colliding there, I think, with Nazrul Nazari. Well, it's an expansive ball from Daniel Martins out to cross to Jordan Vestering. So far, Hougang are coping pretty well with the pressure that young Lions are attempting to put on at the moment. Here's Vestering. Syed Akmal Shafi on that right-hand side. Here he is now. Squares that for Abdul Rasak. Still playing with that 4-1-4-1 formation. He was under a bit of pressure there. Akram does well. There's a bit of a gap. Just a little pocket of space that wasn't quite exploited by Young Lions. Well, I'll tell you what, this is the strength of Hougang, where they're able to bring on someone like a Shawalanwa. Daniel Martins worked very hard, had some good moments. And Shawalanwa, Singapore international, one of the, I think, brightest players in the Singapore Premier League, comes on. Not bad to be able to have someone of that quality coming off the bench. Here's Nazrul Nazari. Stopped in his tracks by Akram. Slip through. Reza Reski, could he have gone for goal? Abdur Razak, his chance now! Oh, it's off the woodwork. Great opportunity. Couple of shots blocked. Better from Young Lions. Well, he had the beating of the goalkeeper, but not the upright. Best chance they've had so far. Went across the keeper, did everything correct. Just couldn't find the back of the net. But it's still alive here. Ilhan went for goal, was blocked by Anders Applin. Farhan being a nuisance there. An improvement certainly from Young Lions. Oh, that was the wrong ball to play. Good response from Young Lions. Just hesitated there a little bit, Nur Adam. Good feet, very good feet from Abdur Razak. Chance here! It's gone in! Ilhan Fundi gets on the score sheet. Young Lions have given themselves a little lifeline here, and they've been pushing, haven't they, in the second half. Wasn't sure there was enough power in that header. Khairul Hind might be disappointed with that, but it doesn't change the fact that Young Lions have got a goal now. They've worked hard in this second half. It's a good response from Young Lions, and Nazri Nasser will be delighted with that. Really good work from Abdur Razak here. Quick feet. Looked like a lost cause. It was cleared not too far away. Good ball in from Nur Adam. He had plenty of time for that header. And I just wonder whether there'll be a little bit of disappointment for Khairul Hind. And that'll be give them such a big boost, won't it? Young Lions. That was poor. Losing it in midfield. First they've got to clear their lines. Well, they've given themselves a lot of time to get 2 more goals in the minimum. They've got to keep things tight at the back, of course. Syed Akmal. Not sure that was quite what was needed by Abdur Razak, but he's had some good moments as well. Really a very, very different Young Lions we've seen in the second half. Anumantan up to Shawal. That's his first touch in the back of his head, really. Not been a good start for him. Well, they're just looking a little panicky now. Hougang, nice touch on from Jacob Mahler. Here's Noor Adam. He's going on it on his own. It will be a corner. Taken quickly. Oh, very nicely done. Stayed on his feet. Noor Adam. It's been a bit of a threat in the second half, hasn't he, on this left-hand side? And just cutting in. Poor kick from Carol Hint. They all look a little bit shell-shocked here, Hougang, in this second half. Maybe they didn't expect the onslaught. Ilhan's fought well. Well, they need to kill this game off if they can. Hougang, the best way to do that, of course, is with a goal. But they are struggling at the moment to just get out of their own half. And again, that breaks down quickly for them. Nice little layoff. Here's Harris. Now Ilhan. Ball is bobbling around. Very difficult. A chance here. Ilhan. Was that one touch too many? It's going in. Surely they can put it away. No, they can't. Jordan Vestering scrambles it clear. Off the woodwork. Well, the pitch, I think, played its part there. It was bobbling around, difficult to control. Carl Hind didn't pull off a convincing save. There you go, the ball difficult to control. Just cutting inside. It was, the shot probably wasn't good enough. Well, we said that they would wanted a bit more firepower, and they've done it by bringing on Sahil Suhaimi, who had a much better season last year with Warriors, which has prompted this move to Hougang United. And is Applin away. They want to get another goal and finish this off if they can. But right now they are really struggling to hold on to the ball. Jacob Mahler, Reza Reski. He won the ball back there, Reski. A shot earlier from Abdul Razak was deflected. Great ball in. Oh, again, the footwork is fantastic. Jacob Mahler, he's fighting and fighting, throwing himself around. This is excellent work from Young Lions. It really is. More than making up after a disappointing first half. Akram. Was there a handball? No one is moving. No one's asking anything. Ilhan, the flag has gone up. All the action inside this final third. Well, it's all happening, isn't it, at Jurong West? Very good show of spirit here from Young Lions. But they need another goal. Just add that pressure on. Here's Matchell. Really nice touches from them. Akram. Abdul Razak is just lurking there. He's got the pace. Ilhan. Well, you could see the kind of idea, the thinking behind it. Well, Abdul Razak's not going to get there. The momentum very much with Young Lions at the moment, and Hougang are struggling to cope with it. Where was this in the first half? If you're a Young Lions fans, you'd just be a little frustrated that they didn't show this a little bit more. Jacob Marler. Now Sahil. Shot where the ball out was blocked. Here's Nur Adam. Now Shafi. He's coming further up now. He wasn't doing that in the first half, was he? Again, throwing himself into it, Jacob Marler. Someone needs to take a shot. Ilhan, never going to score like that. But they are lining up the efforts now, aren't they? Are you able to call up like shots, or do I just get it online? Do you guys call it up? Are you able to call up a shot stat? Shot stat. Shots on target, shots off target. No. Abdul Razak, both him on the right and Nur Adam on the left, have really been causing all kinds of problems. By the way, it is 3-0 Tampines Rovers against Balestier Khalsa now. Well, I'm not quite sure what the thinking was there from Akram. I guess safety first, but just looked a bit nonplussed there. Actually, I will just correct myself. It is 1-0 Tampines Rovers, excuse me. 8th minute goal by Boris Kopitovic. 3-1 here at Jurong West. They have a corner just to relieve the pressure for Hougang. That was Ilhan who headed that away. Now Shawal. That was certainly looked like a push, didn't it, by Zach Anderson on Syed Akmal. And as Applin weaving his way through a few players from Young Lions. They're certainly just trying to relieve that pressure and stop this onslaught on. There's a player down, that's Jacob Marler. He's really been absolutely everywhere, covers so much ground, doesn't he? Let's hope it's just a cramp issue. And it's probably come at an opportune moment because there is a chance for a drinks break while he gets the treatment. Well, Akmal's also getting checked out. He had a bit of a knock. He's not moving terribly well. Let's have a look at the goal. Really good work from Abdul Rasak. Couldn't really get it clear, could he? Anders Appelin. That led to the cross in from Nur Adam and the header from Ilhan. Bearing down on goal. He's got to take the shot. Oh, too close to the keeper. Now, I'm not sure what Jordan Vestering is getting upset about. I think it's because the ball should have been put out of play. Vestering gets a yellow card. Nur Adam will say he was entitled to go for it. Let's see if we can find out how this started. But was it from an injury? Well, just to recap, there was an injury earlier to Jacob Mahler. And the ball was put out for that injury. And I think they feel that there should have been, the ball should have been sportingly returned. Now, are they going to continue? Or are they going to return the ball off this corner? It looks like they're just going to return it. I think. It looked like it would be the case. Ilhan with a little choice to make here. And I think that's why everyone stopped. That's why Nur Adam had a lot of time to bear down on goal. It was a good save from Khairul in the end. He made amends for earlier. If you're looking at Nur Adam, perhaps he should have done better. And they just put the ball out of play. Well, all's well that ends well. And the two benches, by the way, Clementio and Nazri Nasser, just putting their hands out to acknowledge each other. No harm done. If they had scored a goal, it would have been interesting. We have seen situations in other leagues where a goal has been scored in that circumstance, and as a way to balance things up, the other team is allowed to score as well. Well, that's why Jordan Vestering came screaming across the pitch to take issue with Nur Adam. Forward by Anumantan. Too easy for Ridwan. And perhaps what's interesting is that drinks break and the injury as well. I wonder if that's just going to blunt the momentum of this young Lions side. Again, really nicely done by Noor Adam. Oh, that could have gone anywhere. For Amanda Zappelin, it's a corner. Change by Young Lions. Very nicely done. Kyrene Nadim forward, replacing Reza Reski. And his first contribution will be this corner. Nazrul Nazari, this is what he can do. But he's just run into a bit of problems. Shawal Anwar. Nicely done by Stipe Plazibat. Here's Shawal. Oh, he's got to do better than that. So the new man in has come from here's another look at that from Shawal, the National Football Academy. Under 16s. Real youngster, this guy, Kyrene Nadim. Well, now they're having the drinks break. I thought they would have taken that in earlier when Jacob Marlowe went down, but that was not counted as a separate drinks break. Interesting. But they certainly want to get on with it. They're running out of time, little by little. Fabian Kwok will come on for the final 15 minutes or so for Matchell. There is a confirmation of an earlier yellow card on Farhan. Nora Abdullah gets one as well. Approaching the final 10 shortly. Another goal, and it really would make things fascinating for the grandstand finish here. Anderson first to the ball. Shafi could have gone back to his keeper, opted to put it out of play. Ridwan does enough. The lurking. Shawal was offside anyway. Shawal Anwar hasn't really had very much of the ball so far, hasn't pressed too much. It's very good in the game against Ho Chi Minh, one of the few bright sparks. There's Kairin, the new man in. Abdul Rasak. Too much on that. They're going to try and slow it down as much as possible. Here's Abdul Rasak. Corner here. They need to be getting on with it, really, Young Lions. No rush whatsoever from Hougang. And not surprising, they want to take the sting out of the tail. It's the final substitution. Shahrul Nizam Mazlan is on for Ilhan, who's got his goal. Thought they might keep him on and play two up front. He's come from Kembangan United. He's done well to keep that in, really well, Shahrul Nizam. Corner again. Well, that's a rather odd corner that they've gone for. It's so many players in the area. Looked like it was something that they had done in the practice on the training fields, but didn't come off at all. There was Kairin. Shawal. That has gone in favour of Young Lions. It's a good challenge from Akmal. Here's Shahrul Nizam. Really nicely done by Abdul Rasak. Now him and Anders Aplin having a little coming together. That goes against Young Lions. pumped forward here. They need to get the ball up the other end quickly. The Young Lions, if they want any hope, trying to get something desperately out of this match. 5 minutes plus maybe another 3 or 4 after that. If we're generous, 10 minutes of play left to get a couple of goals. Sahil Suhaimi, that has stayed in play. Here's Vestering. This is very good as far as Hougang are concerned. Does well, Harris Stewart. His brother Raihan is now with Young Lions as well. Used to be at Warriors. Given away. Here's Fabian. Anu. Now Sahil. Stipe Plazibat. Couple of nibbles at him. He's done really well here, Stipe Plazibat. Anu Mantan. Oh, that's carelessly given away, isn't it? Jacob Mahler. Oh, he's completely shanked that. Just seemingly losing a bit of energy now, Young Lions. You can't blame them really. Akram. No foul. Wow, I'm not sure there was any problem there. Nazri Nasir upset. Oh, he's being very pedantic, perhaps, you might argue. You might just be able to hear Nazri Nasir having a little bit of a go. Frustrating, really, if you're a Young Lions supporter, seeing all that. But the fact of the matter is, they lost it all in the second half. If they'd shown anything of what they could do, as they have in this second half, well, it would be a very different story. But they don't need to be 3 goals down to react like that. It's a new team, a young team. They will learn from it, of course. Akmal has given away the ball to Nazrul Nazari. Shawal, even he won't get there. Down the left-hand side. Pull back here. Can someone get on the end of it? Fabian Kwok is there to clear. Mahler to Akram. Not too many bodies to aim at. Easy for Zach Anderson. Abdul Razak needs a shot. Mahler, he's again shanked it. But they have piled on the efforts. Far better. Going for goal. Much more intent here. And he knows it. Frustration from Mahler. Plenty of bodies in the box. Well, there are 5 minutes. I was right, they had 10 from the 85th to try and eke out a couple of goals, but now they've only got 5 minutes to do it. Knocked on there brilliantly from Stipe Plaziba. A good save from Ridwan to deny Shawal Anwar. Excellent from Ridwan. That's been their best chance of the second half. Hougang. Afik gets a yellow card for his troubles. Foul on Shawal by Akram. Slip through. Now Stipe Plazibat. He's on for the hat-trick. Plazibat rolls it in. And that puts an end to any hopes of a comeback here. Well, they needed that, didn't they? Stipe Plazibat. 53 and a hat-trick to boot for Stipe Plazibat. Well, they were all pushing forward, weren't they, young Lions, and it's a little cruel for them. But when you've got the quality of a team like Hougang, they can always hurt you like that when you're in search of goals. And now they've got about 3 less than 3 minutes to play out here at Young Lions. It's demoralising because I think they always thought there was at least another goal in them. They've come close, haven't they? That could have made things very interesting towards the end. Abdul Razak, and no real power there from Mala. They're leaving themselves exposed once again. Plazibat up to Sahil Suhaimi. Oh, was that a penalty? The referee looks at it and walks away, runs off. I thought there might have been a good shout for that. Well, a little bit of drama at the end of this game. And they can sing a little better now, a little more comfortably, a little bit more relaxed now. The Hools, who might have been a bit concerned in that second half. But they have put that to bed with the hat-trick goal from Stipe Plazibat. Shawal Anwar. Again, I don't see anything too wrong with that, but Mala and Shawal could have been a bit nasty, but that has been nipped in the bud. Referee has blown time on the 5 minutes. That was academic anyway, because Hougang have run out winners here in this game after an emphatic first half in which Stipe Plaziblat scored his 50th SPL goal and then added another with a penalty. Before that, the second goal for Hougang came from Jordan Vestering with a tremendous left-footed shot outside the box. 3-0 at half-time, and then in the second half, a great fight back by Young Lions. They got one back through Ilhan Fundi, and right at the very end, it was Stipe Plaziblat with his hat-trick goal. The final score, Jurong West Stadium, it's Young Lions 1, Hougang United 4. And let's have a look at the highlights then. This was Plaziblat knocking in after a great ball in to him. Vestering taking advantage of some poor clearance. Stipe Plaziblat's penalty. And then the fight back started for Young Lions. Ilhan with the header, but they couldn't make the pressure count. And there was a goal right at the end from Stipe Plaziblat to make it 4-1. So there you have it. We'll have a break and we'll come back with the post-match interviews.
The game is football is like that. When you don't take your chance, when you lock on concentration, especially in the first half, they got two attack and then they scored. Basically, they will punish us. So this is how they have to learn quickly. But again, as second half, I said they showed that a lot of characters. They want to play. I think we almost in control in the second half. We try to move around. But again, I understand they are young, they're inexperienced. They're trying to pace the game and, they're not sure. But again, as I said, overall, yes, the result is 4-1 is not what we want also. But again, as I say, it's a very positive, and I hope that, from this game, the players can know that what is the real X-League football is all about. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for coming out to the Jurong West Stadium for
Nazrin Nasser there with his thoughts after the game. You can see he's a bit frustrated as well because if only they had shown anything close to the spirit they did in the first half. They looked a much better unit, didn't they, after the break. Probably a bit of a telling off as well in the changing rooms. But Yeah, they needed more of that, and that's a positive they can take away for this game, going into the next few matches, Young Lions, because they've got to show that kind of endeavour and spirit, and perhaps with a bit more luck as well. They were a bit unlucky with the chances, one of them of course coming off the upright. Young Lions next in action.
It's been a long time since we beat Young Lions, so it is something that the players wanted it. Very good first half, but a little disappointing in the second. A lot of miscommunication, and of course there are things that needs to be improved. But you know, at the end of the day, we need to give Young Lions a credit, and they did very well to basically shackle us, especially at the start of the second half. I mean, credit to the boys. Yeah, they work hard, but to overturn a 3-1, I think is quite challenging for them. At the end of the day, I think 3 points matters for us.
So, coach, after three games in 7-day period, now you have a short little break. So, how will it help you going into the season properly?
I mean, we have a short break, and then we leave for Myanmar on Sunday. Naturally, it will help us, and it's time to move certain players around in a sense whereby freshness is important. Although yes, we have got probably about a week to play with.
Okay, thank you very much, coach, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to hear the thoughts then of Clement Teo, who will be a little bit happier that he's got the first win under his belt, and only the third win in 8 games for Hougang against Young Lions in their last 8, as I mentioned. So a good start for Hougang, their first win on the opening day since 2017, and they march on. Well, that has been an entertaining game here at the Jurong West Stadium. From all of us here, thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you again soon.